Coming up on NTC News, in a room filled with students, the SA president comes under fire for mismanaging funds. We have an exclusive one-on-one interview with Khiree Cross.
Also ahead, the NIU community is mourning the loss of a law alumna who was slain earlier this week.
Plus, the gymnastics team claimed its first ever MAC title. We'll show you how the Huskies made history. NTC News starts now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
And I'm Dejaneria Ferguson. It's Thursday, March 28th.
The NIU Student Association has been making headlines this past week, in particular SA President Khiree Cross. The Northern Star first published a front page story saying Cross is being accused of embezzling about $3,500. The Student Association has been debating censorship for Cross after these allegations came to light. Cross is also being accused of neglecting his job by not keeping up with the weekly staff report. Last night, the SA held a formal address where they tried to clear up any confusion that may have been caused in the past few days. President Khiree Cross and Chief of Staff Citric Davis Jr., who were both accused of neglecting their duties, spoke to a packed room in the Campus Life building. Cross appealed to students, saying he would never steal from them and that he's embarrassed by what he calls a defamation of character. The president believes students should take their frustration and get involved. We spoke to some students to get their key takeaways from the address.
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction to ensure that our students are first, and because they are first, that we must continue to be transparent to them about anything that is going on here on this campus.
Every student that's part of a student organization should be questioning and just kind of being up to date with what is happening within the student association, and I think examples like these are perfect opportunities to maybe use as a way to encourage our students to get involved.
This was an incident that took place back in November, and here we are almost the beginning of April, and we're just now hearing about it. So I think if students were more informed with what's going on, there was more reports, there was like more accountability, I think we wouldn't have this miscommunication.
There is a lack of professionalism inside of the SA. However, this may be a training issue because there is a lack of professionalism throughout the university.
The Student Association address went into 11:30 p.m.
NTC reporter Crystal Termini had the chance to sit down exclusively with Cross to hear what he had to say about the accusations. Crystal?
Thanks, guys. I'm joined now by SA President Khiree Cross. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. First and foremost, tell us your story and why you think that these allegations are false.
Well, I know that they're false. Being the president of the SA, I have to know the bylaws and the Constitution, just as any other member. So the allegations were brought because clearly I'm an alpha, and I'm the president of the SA, and I gave an executive allocation to my fraternity to go to a regional conference and a district conference. So it's not like I just gave money to our chapter for us to just do whatever with. We went through the same procedures as any other organization. I think that I follow precedent. I have an exec allocation spreadsheet from fall of 2016 all the way up to now. So presidents have given their own fraternities money. Presidents have given their own organizations money through exec allocations. Members of the SA have been, from Senate all the way up to president, have requested money from the president as an exec allocation, and we're given the money, and it's not seen as bias. So I just think it's kind of weird that when I do it, it's seen as bias, or it's seen as misappropriation or embezzlement of funds, which is not. So I completely follow the rules. So it's completely false.
So like you said, you're being accused of misappropriation of funds, and you're also you're being accused of neglecting your job by not submitting weekly staff report sheets. So let's start with the funds first. Is there checks and balances of the funds? Who's keeping up on the funds and seeing where they go?
Yeah, so I have to create, I don't have to create a spreadsheet, but I have to report to the Speaker of the Senate and to my treasurer 4 days after I give an exec al. So I have a spreadsheet, like I said, from fall of 2016 all the way up until now. You just update it, put the name of the organization, how much you're giving, and then you give a reasoning, like a short blurb of why you gave them the money, and then the term in which you gave it to them, so spring or fall, and then you have to send that to them. So that's pretty much my checks and balances, sending it to the treasurer and the speaker.
Gotcha. And the weekly staff report, did you complete that? And did you, or if you didn't, did you understand that that was your job at all and that you had to do that?
Yeah, so there is a lot of confusion about the duties of the president because the staff reports are given to the chief of staff. So it just seems kind of a little weird that only the president has to do staff reports, not the president, the vice president, the treasurer. And following precedent from now, maybe 5-10 years back, there is no precedent of presidents or exec members at all doing weekly staff reports. So I just followed the precedent. I've been in SA since I was a freshman. So I worked under Giuseppe, I worked under Rachel, and I watched them, move as presidents, and I didn't see, weekly staff reports. That just wasn't something that was done. In the bylaws, I think we just have to go over the bylaws as an entire organization because it's really vague. It's not specific. So I think that's what we're doing now currently, just revamping the bylaws so interpretation can't just be so broad. It could just kind of be direct because interpretation in the bylaws, I'm not a member of the cabinet. But,
Well, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. Deja and Kobe, back to you.
The SA elections were held this week and the winners are expected to be announced at any moment.
In the meantime, Victor Oweye sat down with the project winners for the positions of Vice President and Treasurer. Victor?
Thanks, guys. I'm joined here with projected Vice President Kevin Schaefer and the projected Treasurer Devon Hall. So, guys, should you guys be elected today, what would be your game plan for the next year?
Well, should I be elected today, I think my game plan for next year would probably just stick basically with the enrollment rate. And now enrollment rate has decreased since 2013, and I want to focus on getting that back to where it should be.
Should I be elected today, I'm going to focus on developing our student orgs. I really feel like they keep people at NIU and they provide a lot of culture for this campus, and I think they're our best foot forward.
Sure. So with all the turmoil going on right now with the low debate attendance and even not having a presidential candidate on the ballot, what can you guys do in the SA to turn it around for next year?
So first of all, I think it's important that we understand our jobs and our responsibility to the students to make sure we act in a fair way. In addition to that, we need to really focus on recruiting quality for the student association going forward.
In addition to what Kevin said, I think we should also stick to the fact that it's more than just personal gain. It's about the student community on NIU.
Thank you, guys. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and we'll be on the lookout to see what happens in this election.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Back to the desk.
Spring is somewhat finally here and it is sunny outside, but will it stay that way?
Claudia Oleg can tell us what to expect. Claudia?
Thanks, guys. Well, it's safe to say that everyone has been enjoying this gorgeous day. We have seen over the last couple days a trend of increasing temperatures. However, that will come to an end today. Temperatures for the end of your week will be much lower and into your weekend. We even have a chance for rain and even some snow. I'll have more right after the break.
After the break, more on the man accused of killing an NIU graduate. We'll have the latest on the murder investigation.
Plus, how one woman's struggle with weight helped her turn around other people's lives. Stay with us. Welcome back. A Beaver Dam, Wisconsin resident faces charges for allegedly killing an NIU alum and DeKalb County Assistant State's Attorney. Police say Stacia Hollinshead was shot to death over the weekend in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Reports are the shooter was her ex-husband, Ulysses Medina Espinosa. Hollinshead did have a restraining order against him. Police say the shooting took place in the presence of their 5-year-old daughter. Hollinshead was an NIU College of Law graduate and an Army veteran.
If you live off campus, you might be familiar with Hunter Properties. They manage some of the buildings occupied by NIU students. Last night, tenants gathered for a meeting to create an association to address concerns. Senior student Haley Body led the meeting. She said the meeting was meant to make Hunter Properties take responsibility in providing services, repairs, and stop harassment. Several representatives from Hunter Properties were present but did not comment on these concerns.
Next Friday, the fanfare will sound as the entire NIU community is going to welcome the attendance of the investor of NIU President Dr. Lisa Freeman. Freeman, who is the first female president in NIU history, will deliver her inaugural address in which she will outline her agenda for the university in years to come. The ceremony, which will take place here, will also feature NIU's world-renowned choir and string quartet, as well as 3 of Freeman's past colleagues who helped influence her in her journey in higher education. The ceremony will begin at 2 p.m. Friday, and there will also be a reception held outside of Boytel Hall in the music building following the ceremony.
This morning, NIU's Executive Vice President Chris McCord emailed a statement about the budget plan for the upcoming year. In the email, McCord explains that the university is facing a, quote, $28 million shortfall. It outlines plans on how to deal with decreased enrollment, lack of funds from Springfield, and problems with campus infrastructure. The board plans on continuing to refine the budget in the coming weeks. Nationally, there's a lot of news surrounding the president and the Russian investigation report.
Victor Oway has more on this week's Political Pit Stop.
Thanks, guys. There's never a shortage of news in politics, so let's see what's making headlines all the way in Washington. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is facing controversy for her decision to cut funding for the Special Olympics. The Special Olympics is the world's largest sports organization for children and adults with disabilities. DeVos says that she was not personally involved in the decision to cut over $17 million worth of funding. Senate Democrats expressed their disappointment and pointed out how many people would be affected by this change.
Do you know how many kids are going to be affected by that cut, Madam Secretary?
Mr. Pocan, let me just say again, we had to make some difficult decisions with this budget.
Again, this is a question on how many kids, not about the budget.
I don't know the number of kids.
It's 272,000 kids. That's all. I'll answer it for you. That's okay. No problem.
DeVos stands behind the choice and says that this and many other cuts are necessary in order not to run out of the nation's funds. There's news this morning that Attorney General William Barr has agreed to testify before the House Judiciary Committee. Congress is eager to hear from Barr in response to his release of a 4-page summary of the highly anticipated report submitted by Special Counsel Robert Mueller this weekend. They are requesting to see the entire 300-page report regarding the investigation into the president's connection to Russia. Congress is demanding that Barr release the entire report by next Tuesday. This same report is causing Republican Congress members to call for the resignation of Committee Chairman Adam Schiff. These attacks are in response to Schiff's comments about the investigation into Russia. Schiff has been vocal, accusing Republicans of ignoring evidence of President Trump's campaign's effort to take Russian help in the 2016 election. The president has also spoken out on Twitter, accusing the congressman of lying and leaking. Schiff says he does not plan on resigning anytime soon. Now let's send it over to Isai Sanchez for this week's Tech Talk.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Tech Talk. So let's get right into it. On Monday, Apple held a keynote and announced many things. One of the first things announced was the Apple Card, which is just a credit card. It will have no fees of any kind and cashback rewards. And the card will also be made of titanium, so there's that. The other big news though is Apple Arcade. This is a subscription service that allows users access to over 100 video games. These games are to be exclusive to the service, so you won't find them anywhere else. While there are no details on pricing, Apple says the service will launch later this fall. But the bigger news Monday was Apple TV Plus. This is a new service that brings original content made exclusively for Apple TV Plus. Some programming in the works are documentaries made by Oprah, along with a new Sesame Street show, and many others that I just don't have time to cover. Again, there are no details on pricing, but Apple says the new service will launch again later this fall. And the final tech story I've got is phone manufacturer Huawei announcing they are getting into the fashion industry. On Wednesday, they announced a collaboration with Korean fashion brand Gentle Monster to create smart glasses. There weren't many details, but Huawei says some features will include answering and making calls with their built-in mics and speakers. The glasses will also charge wirelessly with the case that holds them. No price was revealed, but these new glasses are expected to come later this month. Well, that's all I've got for you this week. Let's send it on back to the desk.
If you're looking to get in shape for the summer, make sure to visit the newest health business in DeKalb, Wire Nutrition. Owner Kimberly Cepeda decided to share her knowledge with others after her long health journey. I had the opportunity to visit the establishment and learn more about it. Wired Nutrition is making a name for itself in the DeKalb and NIU community. Located at 830 West Lincoln Highway, the month-old nutrition center is looking to provide students and local residents with the opportunity to make healthier dietary decisions. Kimberly Cepeda founded and opened Wired Nutrition to help others with weight loss issues she struggled with her entire life.
A couple years ago, I was very overweight. I could barely walk. I had sleep apnea. And I knew that I needed to make a change in my diet, but I didn't know how.
With the help of Josh Schott from the Fit Hub in Rochelle, she found out how. By consistently exercising and using Herbalife, Kimberly turned her life around, losing nearly 90 pounds in over a year, and she's still not done. Through her convenient and nutritious shakes and boosted teas, she's looking to increase the health consciousness of the area, which customers have expressed gratitude for.
It's a great place. I'm very thankful for it, and everyone should at least try it once.
In addition to offering healthy meal replacement options, Wired Nutrition hosts free cardio drumming classes on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. After years of searching for a purpose, Kimberly has found it. Through Wired Nutrition, she wants to give to DeKalb what was given to her: options for a healthier and better lifestyle.
There were so many people out there that were like me, that were looking for, that are looking for something that could help them, that really, really works. And so now it's time for me to pay it forward.
Kimberly is returning the kindness that she was giving by positively impacting others' health. I tried one of the shakes and it was absolutely delicious and good for me. The best of both worlds.
If you have a child or know someone who has a child, the NIU Police Department is offering you something to keep your loved one safe. They are now distributing free convertible car seats at the police station and will properly install it for you. You can schedule your appointment by completing the child safety request form on the NIU Police Department website. Bring a copy of the child's birth certificate and your photo ID at the time of pickup. Seats will be distributed on the first come and first served basis and limited to one per household.
Well, it seems like the sun is finally out and it's getting warmer outside.
It is. I hope the weather will stay this way, but Claudia can tell us if we'll be able to enjoy this weather. Claudia?
Thanks, guys. Well, it's safe to say that we have been blessed with some warm temperatures that I'm sure that they will stick in our area for today. If we take a look at what's going on outside, see cell off to our west, that does have the potential of reaching our area into tonight with that chance of precipitation at 60% there. And these showers might stick around even into your Friday morning, but once those clear out, we will have yet another chance of precipitation into your Friday evening that will start off as rain. However, as those temperatures drop into the at 36 degrees there, we might have a chance for some snow. New accumulation predicts about less than ½ an inch, so it's definitely not going to be a whiteout. For your Saturday, those clouds will stick around after those storms, so it might be a little bit gloomy there, but your temperatures you can see already noticeably lower at 33 degrees there, and I hate to say it, but your lows will plummet into the 20s at 24 degrees, so you're definitely going to want to make sure you have an extra layer on. evening. The good news is that come Sunday, we'll have mainly sunny skies there, and it might feel a little bit warmer than 42 degrees there for your high, so not too bad for your last day of. Come April comes full swing for your work week there. Noticeably higher temperatures there at 50 on Monday, 55 on Tuesday, and back into the 60s on Wednesday. That's it for weather.
When we come back, a pair of gymnasts are heading to Ann Arbor for the NCAA Regionals.
And the college national showcase is on the horizon for the cheerleading squad. We'll show you how they prepared to bring a title back to DeKalb.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org. You made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Get some drinks!
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
It's been a busy week for NIU athletics. Sports reporter Isai Sanchez has all of the highlights. Isai?
Thanks. A lot has happened in NIU athletics, both good and bad. So let's take a look. The men's basketball season may be over, but some roster changes have gone down recently. Sources tell Top Shelf Sports that redshirt junior Jalen Key, freshman wing Austin Ritchie, and sophomore guard Brandon Danowski plan to move on from the team. This comes after the Huskies reached the MAC tournament semifinals just a few weeks ago. News also broke several months back of senior wing Anastasios Dimogerantis also looking to transfer from the program. With all four leaving, Montgomery has lost a total of 11 players due to transfers during his tenure as head coach. Not great. And the gymnastics team has had a historic weekend after winning the MAC championships for the first time in school history. The Huskies took home the title with a team score of 195.975 that included several standout performances. Senior Anna Martucci tied for first place on floor with a score of 9.900, and sophomore Mia Lord made the most of her beam routine with a similar score. Martucci also took home MAC Specialist of the Year honors for the second straight year and will be competing in this year's NCAA Regional with Lord. The gymnastics head coach says their hard work has finally paid off.
These guys are workers. They're not afraid of the work. They've never once questioned or complained or tried to take the easy way out. And that's the type of things that help you win championships.
If you want to hear more about what the coach has to say about this historic win, tune in to Top Shelf Sports tomorrow for an exclusive interview. And sticking with gymnastics, NTC reporter Martin Sotelo sat down with a certain gymnast and got a first-hand look at her impact on the team.
A junior from Plymouth, Minnesota, Amanda Bartimeo.
Junior gymnast Amanda Bartimeo brings a winning attitude to NIU Gymnastics. Since arriving in 2016, Bartimeo has constantly put together strong individual performances. Her hard work has even earned her a spot as a team captain. But what really separates Amanda is her ability to inspire her teammates.
I try to bring a lot of energy to meets and practice and
because I think the team works best when we have high energy. We're only concerned with ourselves. And when my teammate hits a goal, it's like I hit a goal. They make me feel great, they feel great, and it's awesome.
Bartimio's willingness to get the most out of herself and her teammates definitely doesn't go unnoticed. She always makes sure to raise the team's spirit, whether it's in meets or during practice. One thing that can't be overlooked is her passion for gymnastics, and head coach Sam Morelli believes that she represents a certain characteristic.
Joyful. Like, she's joyful in everything she does, whether it's our warm-up, whether it's our competition routines, whether it's competition itself. She's just enjoying what she's doing and just having a really good time.
Bartimio's joyful personality has truly helped those around her. With other standout gymnasts like Anna Martucci and Emily Becerra, she isn't always the center of attention. But even with that, the only thing that matters for this gymnast is seeing the team succeed.
Honestly, to me, this whole journey, it hasn't been about being recognized or being in the spotlight. I want to perform the best I can to make NIU the best program in the nation. So I never really think of wanting to make myself stand out as an individual. I want us to stand out as a team.
Amanda's passion, ability to lift her teammates, and first team mentality leaves her as this week's leader of the pack. For NTC News, I'm Marcel Teller.
The wrestling team sent 2 wrestlers to compete in this year's NCAA championships. Redshirt freshman Bryce West and Britt Wilson both qualified to compete in the tournament after strong performances in the MAC championships. Unfortunately for the Huskies, West scored the only victory for the team. After losing his first match, he bounced back and won 10-7. With the team season officially over, they aim to return stronger than ever next year. And the women's tennis team fell short to Western Michigan 5-2 on Sunday at the Boylan Tennis Center. Maria Pazzi and Christy Robinson each picked up a win for the Huskies. Pazzi earned her second win of the weekend at a 7-5 victory at number 2 singles. Robinson lost the first set but rallied for a 6-2 win in the second set. The team will return into action Friday when they travel to Bowling Green. And the baseball team opened their first home stretch of the season with a sweep over the Eastern Michigan Eagles. The Huskies outscored the Eagles 19-10 for the series, with a Game 1 victory of 6-3, Game 2 win of 4-3, and a Game 3 sweep with a 9-4 final. The team lost their game yesterday to UIC, but managed to take 3 of 4 over the stretch. Catcher Jake Dunham caught fire with 9 hits in 16 at-bats, knocking in 3 RBIs and his second home run of the season. The Huskies will take on Central Michigan this Friday at 2 p.m. And the softball team traveled to the University of Buffalo last Sunday for a 2-game series against the Bulls. The Huskies lost their first game 8-4, but bounced back in the second game with a 10-4 win to split the series. The team will take on the Ohio Bobcats this weekend before their home opener on April 2nd against Ball State. Well, that'll be it for NTC Sports, and as always, go Huskies. Let's send it on back to the desk.
There's one team at NIU that's looking to make a major comeback. The cheerleading team wants to take that first place position after falling short last year.
NTC reporter Crystal Termini tells us how the team is preparing to do just that.
You see them on the sidelines cheering on NIU athletics, but now this team is ready for their own spotlight. The NIU cheerleading team is headed to Daytona Beach, Florida to compete in the National Cheerleaders Association Collegiate Championship. After winning second place last year, these Huskies are ready to take the top spot. Coach Aubrey Gaglione says that this year the team wants it more than ever.
And they'll catch you in this split.
They're just really hungry. And I know that after getting second, those upperclassmen are just really hungry to teach the rookies what it feels like to win.
But that won't come without challenges. After teammate Abby Goebel dislocated her elbow, the Huskies had to scrap what they had and bring in 2 new members in order to get a new routine ready. Peter Rivera says that losing Goebel only fueled their fire even more.
At first, the quick instant reaction is, oh my gosh. But after quickly reworking and adding 2 veterans back onto the mat, it really allowed for us to not only do this for ourselves, but do this for her.
Injuries like these come with the territory. Gallioni says that perfecting their skills for Daytona only proves how difficult it is to cheer competitively.
People really underestimate how much athletic ability it takes to be a competitive cheerleader because they think it's just us on the sideline. Those are just like practices for us. This is like the real deal, and this is what we work for all season long.
Cheer president Jamia Green wants the team to have something of their own to celebrate.
Daytona is for us. We do it for us. We just like being able to have something for ourselves, to win a trophy for ourselves. We went to football MAC championship game. That was exciting. Obviously they won, got the championship. We want to feel that experience for ourselves.
This team is no stranger to adversity, but now they're equipped to overcome it. For NTC News, I'm Crystal Termini.
The team will be headed to Daytona Beach April 3rd to compete on the 4th and 5th.
That's it for us now. NTC News is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
Have a good day, everyone.